I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he's doing it. He's no longer down here. He's up here in his face.
Well, because that's actually what he was talking about. It was like if you could, like, you know, like, you
and he keeps doing it at his face.
Watch the video.
Like, continues even after I said it.
Watch the video.
Is there something else you want to tell us?
Watch their podcast and you'll see it. And it's just, I was like, holy crap. Like, oh, not again. All right. Well, last week we were able to go to the Online Forever podcast, which is hosted by Sidney Summers and 𝗬𝗎𝗯𝗲. And it was a raucous good time. Did you have fun?
I had a great time.
My choice of words.
Yeah.
Raucous.
Good time. I had a great time.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was interesting because, you know, you've been following them since December. Mm-hmm. Me, I was new. I honestly didn't know who they were, but I saw the tickets come up. And since we do a podcast, we're talking about doing live shows, and we used to kind of do it in front of live studio audience, but doing something more like live, we're like, well, what does that look like? Mm-hmm. So I was curious to go see what that looks like. I've been wanting to see one. And I didn't know who they were, but you did. And then when you kind of shared something and I started to figure out who they were and I started watching some of their podcasts, I was like, oh, well, they were in adult entertainment. Mm-hmm. So then I went to an adult entertainment site and looked them up. And that's when I realized, oh, yeah, I do know who they are. I'm familiar with your work, at least one video they were both in. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm familiar. But then just watching their podcast is good. They're funny. Yeah. They're entertaining, smart, and they have just this interesting perspective from their profession. Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting to get insight into. Yeah. And so, do you have anything you want to say about the show?
No, I thought it was great. I could touch on a lot of things. Just one.
That you could. And I bet he did.
These two pervs. Well, honestly, like.
You weren't good at that one.
No, I did.
Let's keep setting them up.
Well, you know, first off, it's that bravery. Like, we are building up to that, you know, to be able to say, okay, I don't care who's out there, how many people's out there, I'm going to jump out there and perform. You know what I mean? It really, I admire that. I admire the bravery. I thought it was an entertaining show because, again, it felt like you were just watching a podcast in a way. You know, you're just two people talking, telling stories. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so it started off, I mean, they only had 3 tour dates here in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know why I sound like that. The PNW. Yeah. PNW. And Seattle was the first stop, I guess.
And they're from here?
No, they're not. They're from LA.
Got it.
Well, they're from elsewhere,
LA,
but they're based in LA.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they do prawn. You know, I'm not sure if in their corn industry anymore because they wanted to get out of it. But they obviously love segs because they talk about going to segs parties and they tell stories about it. I'm not going to spill any of their tea. It's their tea to spill, so I'm not going to talk about what they talked about. But I just thought it was interesting.
Did they have like crowd interaction too, or was it just
they had
them?
a Q&A.
They did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they wrote down like there's a Q&A. You can write down your question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't have the bravery to ask a question I wanted to, and I should have.
Yeah.
I should have. Maybe if you watch this and you hear this question, you can answer it, but don't. It'll probably destroy me. The question was, they did a show with this guy called the Girthmasterr. Okay, and as I was did you watch that show?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
As I was researching, I was watching, I was like, the Girthmasterr. And so I didn't watch the entire thing. I kind of clicked in here, clicked on. He's a very nice guy. So that's why that last Sunday or Saturday when we got together, or whenever after the show, I don't know if it was before or after, but I was trying to like measure because he's like 7 inches in girth. And I had, I'm like trying to measure, what is 7 inches? Because I hadn't watched any videos. I don't know.
Sure we were there?
Yeah, I remember you were looking at me weird because I had the measuring tape out and I was like measuring different things.
Weird for so many
you know,
things.
remember that? Okay.
I don't know
that
that
measuring something.
Over here.
Oh, at the counter, before we went out. Yeah.
And she was like, what's this guy doing? And I'm trying to figure out what does 7 inches look like because I hadn't seen the video, you know what I'm saying? But one thing which shook me to my core.
7 inches around?
Yeah, girth. I'm just going to ask you to do something.
I got that. I know what girth is. Thanks.
Can I invite you into this? I need you both to do something for me. And it might make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Who?
Both of you. I want you to mimic jerking off. Like if you were jerking off.
Thank you.
Yeah,
please.
we're not going to do that.
I won't even show it on camera.
Then why do it?
Because I need to see something.
if
you know what?
he's trying to picture the Girthmasterr or whatever.
You need to trust me more, guys.
But like the Girthmasterr, he would have to use both hands.
Not that huge. That's
7. I guess around. Yeah.
Okay, just like if you were mimicking jerking, just do it. Just do it.
You're doing it. You're doing a great job. There you go.
No, but I want to see what you would do. No, do it for real, mother. Trust me. You got to trust me more here.
That's just.
You've got to loosen up. Okay, look at it. Is that if you're just like, oh, you know what I mean?
This is the best you're gonna get. So take it for what it is.
What about you? What would you do?
No, that's what I would do. You just said that's about the only time I'm going to be making that motion.
Here's the thing. He's like this. I'm like this. And he's this Girthmasterr mother trucker. He's like this. Like that's his jerk off mimic.
That's weird.
And I'm like, God damn, dude.
Because
that's his natural jerk off. And his hands are bigger than mine. I was like, holy I was like, I'm shook. I was like, I'm shook by that. Like, that is crazy. But that was just like, I'm like, holy crap, dude. It's like, doesn't even click probably in his mind that most guys are like, and he's like, I was like, that was crazy. I was like,
I feel like 7 inches of girth would destroy you. Wouldn't you? No?
Well, it would destroy me, yes.
No.
It would destroy me. It would surely destroy me.
How about I clarify that? Anyone.
No, well, because he's in the industry, and I'm not going to say anything further, but so he's doing it. And that's a great place for a guy like that. You know what I'm saying? Great place. Great place to use your talents. It's about. Well, no, you can be anywhere, but if you got.
But is it long too? Or is it just wide?
I'm going to plead the fifth.
How are you going to sit here this whole time talking about the width of it, but now you want to act like you don't know what?
No, because all I saw was him mimic the jerk off motion like that. And I was like, who does the jerk off motion like that?
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
Mm-hmm. Especially because he's doing it. He's no longer down here. He's up here in his face.
Because that's actually what he was talking about. It was like if you could, and he
keeps doing it at his face.
Watch the
like continues even after I said it.
Watch the video.
Is there something else you want to tell us?
Watch their podcast and you'll see it. And it's just, I was like, holy crap. Well, he says 7. It's a lot. And you definitely need to warm into that, but he's like, if you get over 7, if you're like 8, it's like that's harm. Yeah. Which I watched a video of a dude. It was a urologist I follow because I'm into my health of the entirety of my body, and so she interviewed a guy with the largest scientifically measured on record penis in the world. Now there might be larger, but they don't have like a scientifically measured.
Right.
He was 8 inches.
Around?
14 and a half about in length, 8 inches round.
Stop. Just like.
And he was like, you would think you'd walk around like confident. He was like so just shy and not confident because it's problematic.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's problematic. It's like in order to actually engage in activities, it's like they have to talk. Mm-hmm. And 2, it's like you have to have things that often will like be a block so that he doesn't go too far. Mm-hmm. And then the 8 inch, oh my God. That wasn't a good one. Anywho, so what?
The way that you said, oh my God, did not sound like it wasn't a good one.
It was like, oh my God. I don't know what you guys are.
I have enough drink to drink right
now. Listen, we started this night with Money setting himself up, but guess what? You have taken.
No. But anyway, the show is great, and I recommend you watch their podcast. And it was fun.
I think just to kind of get it back on track too,
it's been on
outside
track.
of the Girthmasterr, is the fact that with the fact that they have a more intimate crowd, it was nice. We actually got to talk to them for a good amount of time. Again, in my mind, it felt like it was like 5 minutes. It probably was like 30 seconds, but it was just nice to kind of.
No, it was more.
It was long. Felt like it was a pretty long conversation.
Just like everything in his mind, it's like, oh, that was 5 minutes, but it's really 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
It was nice, but it was nice to like pick their brain and kind of ask them like questions like, what started this? What got you here? What made you feel confident enough to take this risk? It was nice. It was a good conversation. So it's just one of those things where I wouldn't say celebrities, but probably celebrities in their own right. But it still just felt good talking to them when they talked to you. They were just normal people. You know what I mean? So it was cool. Great experience. Great. I know you've had a live podcast experience from big artists, but it was nice just to kind of see it on a smaller scale too, just to see, you know, what is the dynamic going to be like, you know? So good
yeah,
show,
and it does.
though.
It sounds like it was quite different than my experience at it. So
You said yours was more like stand up.
In a way, yeah. It's interesting to see the different, approaches.
Yeah, I'd still be interested if there's more that come through, just to check them out, just to see.
Definitely want to do it more.
But that was fun. It was interesting because it's just interesting. It's like this whole different walk of life that I'm not in, but I've been aware of since I was like 12 years old.